as you can well imagine, us being still in various parts of the country, we have to coordinate all of our presentations in a remote way. And of course, because of this getting into the third year of the pandemic, hard to believe, but here we are. I hope everyone's doing well and doing okay and very productive in the work that you're doing, not only in your campuses, national labs, and others, but also your personal lives. As Julie mentioned, I'm John Gilligan, Director of the NEUP Integration Office, coming to you from North Carolina. I'm also a Distinguished University Professor of Nuclear Engineering here at NC State University. It's been an exciting year for us. First of all, of course, doing everything remotely, but also being able to welcome new leadership into DOE. And what I'm going to do right now, it's my pleasure then to introduce our new leader at DOE-NE. She is the Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary, as well as the Acting Assistant Secretary for Nuclear Energy. This is Dr. Katie Huff. Katie comes to us from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, where she has been a faculty member there. She joined DOE-NE in approximately the April-May timeframe. She can verify exactly when that was as she moved over into this position. Katie has been involved with the NEUP program for a number of years. She's an expert in advanced reactors and fuel cycle methods in the work that she does and computational methods. And she has really focused a clear educational mission for NEUP and all of our programs in the INR office, and we're delighted to have Dr. Huff on board. Dr. Huff, thank you for being here, and thank you for support of the NEUP program, not only for the new year, but for last year as well, where you made a big difference. So, Dr. Huff, please, this is the audience. We think we have a good audience for you today. Thank you, Katie.
Oh, thanks so much, John. I really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for being here. I know you all have many things to do over the summer to just keep up with the research that you're actively doing. Hopefully these webinars will be helpful. I know that you've probably all already, you're looking forward to sort of sitting down with the whole document of all the draft work scopes and diving deep into them. Just a couple of comments on the process and what this all looks like in the near term for DOE-NE, and then I'll turn it over back to the team that's organizing and leading this. So, of course, being from amongst you, being a faculty member in this position has given me an opportunity to explore and better understand the process by which this NEUP and CINR activity happens. And let me tell you, it is really a big lift for DOE-NE, and you know, I just want to share that, like, from my perspective, I've learned a lot already as to how much goes into it. And one of the things that we've been trying to do in the brief time that I've been here in DOE-NE is that we have been trying to incorporate some of the recommendations from NEDHO that have been received over the last few years about how NEUP and the CINR in general can maybe better serve the academic community. One of those ways is that, you know, the work scopes are sometimes a little too prescriptive. They sometimes say, oh, you should use this tool and solve this problem. And there's not enough room for the creative insight that is the sort of bread and butter of universities and the real talent that we have at universities. So we made an attempt with this particular draft set of work scopes to reduce the amount of that sort of over prescriptiveness. But I think a lot of you will find that it's still not quite as broad and general as you're hoping. So I just want you to all see this as part of a process, a step in the right direction. Even if that step isn't big enough for all of you, I want you to know that it's in part because it is an extraordinary lift from the DOE CINR team to make changes to this program, a bigger lift than I realized. But we are trying to make some of those recommendations move forward. Something else I'll sort of just add is sort of, as you look through this, I hope you'll notice some of the new directions where we're able to prioritize collaborations with historically Black colleges and universities and minority serving institutions. I hope that'll be a strong priority in the development of your proposals. We would really like to see a lot of that this year. It is a massive effort by the Biden administration, which has a high priority on energy and environmental justice. In particular, we are on the hook for making sure that 40% of our funding has some relationship to those energy justice communities. And I am very serious about making sure that we meet those administration priorities, and I will need your help. Everyone in any NEUP space probably knows some folks that could be excellent contributors to your NEUP proposals and your IRPs as you sort of move forward. I hope you'll be thinking about HBCUs, and if there's anything that the Department of Energy's Office of Nuclear Energy can do to help make those connections with you, I hope that you'll let us know. So those are my main comments. Many of you may be aware that the Energy Act of 2020 makes a matter of law the 20% guidance that we should, to the maximum extent practicable, direct 20% of our research and development funding within the office towards university-directed R&D. And I'm taking that very seriously, but not all of it will be in this CINR. So please keep your eye out for future opportunities in addition to this CINR activity that will help us get to that number within this fiscal year. So with that, that's all I really have. I wish you extraordinary luck with your pre-proposals. I know that you'll all have wonderful ideas. So I will turn it back over to the next presenter, which is John again, probably.
All right. Yes, thank you, Katie. Dr. Huff, we really appreciate your support. I'll tell you, Dr. Huff made a huge impact last year, even as she was getting onto the program and increasing the number of awards that were made last year in 2021. And we're going to go through all the details here of how that rolled out, of course, but last year for the program and that we finalized in June, we had 69 awards that were made, R&D awards associated with the program. The total amount of funding was $61 million, as was announced through DOE. Most of that went to the universities. Dr. Huff, we really appreciate your support there and making that happen. Of course, with the $5 million in the IUP, brought us to a total of $66 million last year in 2021 as you were entering the program and making your impact immediately. So we really appreciate that. So at $66 million last year, this was, I will say, a semi-high water mark in terms of getting back into the higher echelons of the funding that we've had in the program. And we're going to see that increase, I believe, as we see the budget roll out for 2022, which is exciting for us. Last year, we had about 65% of our awards went to nuclear engineering faculty, which is a fairly high number that we have seen the last couple of years. And so that's very good. Many interactions, collaborations with national lab groups as well. 16% of the awards went to women. Faculty members, we'd like to see that get up to over 25%, of course, in the future years. So last year, a good year, but 2022 under Dr. Huff's leadership and as we roll forward here, we're looking for even bigger and better things. As Dr. Huff mentioned, a number of things happening right now that she emphasized, including the engagement of the MSI and HBCU population, as you'll see in the work scopes and other things. The return of IRPs in a much bigger way. We had last year, and it was 2 years ago that we had any IRPs. Now, IRPs, of course, are our program-directed larger projects, $3 to $5 million, could be anywhere from 3 to 4 years in duration, possibly 5, depending upon the kind of work that we're talking about. So a much larger number of IRPs coming forward has been released in the work scopes. as Dr. Huff mentioned, hopefully as we've gone through these less prescriptive work scopes that we're putting forth this year, 65 work scopes already out there. And of course, these are subjects to change. Things could be improved or added or detracted actually as time goes on here before the FOA is released. And also actually, even after it's released, there could be amendments to it. So pay attention to that. We also have a new program this year, a Distinguished Early Career Award for newer faculty members in their first 3 years of a tenure track appointment as assistant professors. Will be eligible for that. And in many ways, this parallels the NSF and the DOE Office of Science programs. That will be described here later. The infrastructure program has been modified slightly to include an educational component explicitly to take those kind of factors into account in the awarding of infrastructure. There's a data plan required this year. All these things we're going to go through in detail as we go through the program. And even in the pre-apps this year that Dr. Huff mentioned, we're going to go from 3 pages to 5 pages allowed in those presentations because we feel that the more we find out about the pre-apps, the better that we can judge them and have a better handle on how they fit into the program and overall transfer of knowledge. So that's another thing that's going to be changing for the 2022 program. All in all, very positive set of things that we're doing this year that are new and different. Of course, the program has changed almost every year to some degree, but this is really a banner year for new things, new monies, we believe, that will be available that Dr. Huff mentioned, going up to that 20% number that had kind of fallen down over the years for a while. So the objective is to get it back up to 20%, which means for this program, CINR, the FOAs that we're talking about today, we're just on the face value of the monies that are proposed out there. It could be $80 million or more. But again, that depends on the appropriations and the budget process, and none of that is really known until probably the spring when the awards will start to be assigned and awarded at that point. So overall, Dr. Huff, thank you very much. This is a really exciting year for us with new programs and hopefully energized staff and faculty involved with the program. I want to make sure that we know who's from the DOE side and from the INR side, the folks involved with the program of this size and magnitude. By the way, Dr. Huff's total budget is $1.5 billion. Huge program that Congress and the administration is investing in nuclear energy. But some of the folks I wanted to mention, Aaron Gravel, who I'll hand it off to here eventually here in a second, is our team lead at DOE-NE, along with Jenna Payne, DOE-NE, Mike Worley, and Alice Capinetti, who's the Deputy Assistant Secretary for our area. Very strong leadership in support of NEUP. And then out at the INR office at INL, Idaho National Lab, we have Drew Thomas, who's our, instead of acting manager, he's our permanent manager now. Drew, congratulations in that. And Julie Jacobson assisting him, Nick Case in the infrastructure area, Anna Podgorny and others, Andrew Ford and the contract officer, and Jeff Fogg assisting will be talking as a contract officer also. We'll be talking about those aspects of the program here coming up. I think what we're going to do, you will have an opportunity to ask questions throughout the program that you'll be able to type in as in the past, and we'll be able to read those questions out and then hopefully have the experts on board here to answer those questions. So as we can either formally through the web system, answer those questions, or answer them online if the appropriate people are there. So I think it's been an outstanding program over the last 10 plus years. I think one other thing I wanted to mention, to know the impact, we're hitting record number of PhDs awarded in nuclear engineering, close to 200 per year. And that's been in large part due to the support of DOE NE, and of course other government support agencies as well, but primarily due to DOE NE in supporting these kind of programs. Record numbers, I mean, we've never seen these numbers before for awarding of nuclear engineering degrees. And of course, there are many other disciplines supported in the program as well. And we see that as a very healthy thing. So, Aaron, I think I'm about ready, Julie, to turn it over to Aaron to start out the discussion of the FOA itself as we walk through this. And I think I'm going to do that now. So unless there's any individual questions for me at this point, or perhaps we can pass some on to Dr. Huff if she's still available, or pass them on to her separately if we need to. So again, thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it. Exciting program this year. Some changes, but these are all great changes. And so we look forward to working with you and getting the job done this year. And thank you to DOE NE, of course, for the support for this program.